What's going on, guys? It's Christopher Toro. Welcome to Glorified Games, the place that we talk about games and sometimes Sonic. So there's been a topic that has been brought up a couple times by Sonic YouTubers and other YouTubers just theorizing about it. A lot of people think that without the Werehog, Sonic Unleashed would have been one of the best Sonic games to ever come out. And there's been a lot of talks in the comments as well about this. Which 3D modern Sonic game is the best? Is Sonic Unleashed the best modern Sonic game? Now, I think that it's all up to the graphics, gameplay, and story, if a game is good or not. So comparing every single modern Sonic game that has come out in the past 15 years, I'd say that out of all of them, Sonic Unleashed has the most variety, longest story, best graphics, and most innovative gameplay. Even though Sonic Colors mastered that, the exploration and story options weren't there. There was no hub world, even though most people didn't like that. I actually appreciated the hub world because it fleshed out that particular world just a little bit. It's tough to say that Unleashed was better than Colors, since Colors was getting a better score overall. But the thing about that particular Sonic formula is that you need enough horsepower to show it off. In terms of what felt more natural and right with it, Sonic Unleashed brought that realistic speed to the gameplay, while Colors brought some strategy to it and sort of padded down what Unleashed went too over the top with. But I think Sonic should go over the top. I think in some instances you should lose track of him, because in the original games you used to lose track of him all the time, and that would be another hurdle to go over in the gameplay. Just to achieve speed, but not too much speed. But Unleashed, like the title implies, lets you go full-blown insane with him. And that was most of the game's appeal. Sure, Sonic Colors did perfect it, but there were a lot of other gameplay mechanics in that one run, in each stage, that could distract you from the general speed mechanic. In Sonic Mania, you would go a certain speed and you would focus on that. You would get extra things that let you have extra abilities, but it wouldn't completely change the game. With Sonic Colors, either it went 2D too often, or you ran into one of the wisps and your gameplay changed completely. That kept the gameplay fresh, in my opinion, but I didn't get exactly what I wanted from Colors that I got from Unleashed's daytime missions. In a way, to me, Unleashed's daytime missions felt more focused on the speed, because that's what a mainline Sonic game should be focused on. Sonic Colors was great, but for the most part of that game, it didn't feel like a main Sonic title. It felt like another spin-off. And yes, tradition could get old, but in terms of Sonic Unleashed being the best modern Sonic game, I think so. Seeing how every game after it followed in its footsteps with daytime Sonic's gameplay, it's evident to see how much of an impact that game made. And just downloading the Unleashed project and installing it in Generations brought those feelings back and made me realize that Unleashed is kind of a legendary game. And sure, the Werehog is infamous, but the daytime missions make up for that. And I actually enjoy the Werehog missions sometimes. Sure, they dragged, but there was a lot of variety, and they weren't lengthy. When you see Sonic Colors and Sonic Unleashed gameplay, they don't even compare. Because of Colors' limited hardware, it couldn't quite achieve that speed that Unleashed did. While in Unleashed, you felt like you were going 500 miles per hour easily. And in Colors, you rarely felt that, since most of the tracks you went through were very controlled. And also, Unleashed felt like more of an epic adventure, and it took a lot more risks than Colors, in my opinion. With Sonic Forces, with this minimalist level design, not taking any risks, it showed how that would impact a modern Sonic game with almost the same exact mechanics. It didn't take any risks. Therefore, all of those flashy speed mechanics came off as boring or linear, while with Unleashed, you can easily see how crazy they went with it. And just like Mania, when you're making a Sonic game, the sky is the limit, and sometimes not even. You can do anything you want with it. There can be as many different routes as possible. The crazier a level is, the better impression it makes on the player, and the more they're going to want to replay it, because Sonic was always about replayability and speed, and how you go through a stage and you just exhale in disbelief at how insane that stage was. Every time I finished a Sonic stage on Unleashed and in Mania, I would look at the timer and I wouldn't believe how much time passed, because it felt like forever, in a good way. There were so many hurdles and different parts of the stage to explore that it felt like a 10-minute stage opposed to a 3-minute one. While in Forces, they didn't take that kind of risk. They didn't make it too crazy. So by the time you're finished, you guess in your mind, oh, it probably passed a minute and a half. And then when you look at the time and you've guessed correctly, it's only disappointing how predictable it becomes, how short it is, and how short it feels. With Unleashed, you can at least see a lot of the scenery, dodge a lot of the enemies. There's a lot going on in that minute and 50 seconds, or even that 1 minute. It doesn't actually feel like a minute. The game designers make enough risk and put enough work into that one stage to make that minute feel like a lot. And if you ask me if Sonic Unleashed is the best modern Sonic game, in terms of innovation, graphics, story, I'd have to say yes. Comparably, between Sonic Colors and Unleashed, or any other Sonic game, like Secret Rings, Generations, I've had a better time with Unleashed, hands down. And the only reason I picked up Generations on Steam was to get those Unleashed mods. If they could just tune it a tiny bit and polish the stages just a second more and make every stage like the daytime stages in Unleashed, then you've got yourself a winner. And I know designing the same game is not fun for game designers, but that's where the story comes in. I want that adventure feeling back. Sonic Unleashed was originally supposed to be called Sonic World Adventure. It was supposed to be Sonic Adventure 3. But to be honest, I actually liked it a little better than Sonic Adventure 2. Even though Sonic Adventure 2 stages spoke for themselves and felt fully fleshed out, the chapters kind of pulled me away from the world. That adventure feeling, like Mario Odyssey, should be a thing in modern Sonic games as well. But I digress, this video is not about making the perfect Sonic game, but let me know what you guys think. Do you think Sonic Unleashed is the best Sonic game to you? Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. Later.
Do you know the way of the devil? Do you know the way of the devil? Do you know the way of the devil?